Back in episode 96, it was revealed that Uruto has a Dusk Ball, and not just any Dusk Ball. The fact that he held it so intently, so dramatically, and that he only brought it out because Liko wanted to know why he wants Rayquaza and to be stronger, clearly illustrated that this Dusk Ball is special to Uruto. However, apart from this, there wasn't much else that we could discern from it back then. All we could do was speculate. I, for example, said that this could be Sableye's Pokeball, since, unless I forgot, feel free to correct me, we haven't seen its Pokeball yet, since it's always out and about and Uruto has never withdrawn it. Since it's a dark type, a Dusk Ball suits it perfectly. I also surmised that this Dusk Ball has to be related to the someone Uruto wants to get the approval of. Well, fast forward to episode 106, and it seems that we will finally learn more about the special Dusk Ball. The title of the episode alone already reveals a very important detail. For whatever reason, this Dusk Ball cannot be opened. Something that I likened to in my previous preview discussion, Rayquaza's ancient Pokeball back at the beginning of this series. This comparison made me realize that perhaps the Dusk Ball 2 houses a special, powerful Pokemon that is just waiting to be unleashed. This is something that some of you believe as well, according to several comments I've seen. This has to be the case, right? No way this Pokeball is empty and unopenable. Because what would be the point? There would be no stakes. This would simply mean that it cannot be used to catch something, which is the whole point of any Pokeball. So you might as well just toss it and buy another one, unless this one has some sort of sentimental value that makes it special to Uruto to the point that he would not get rid of it even if it's useless. So I think there definitely is a Pokemon in here, which leaves us with two very important questions. First, what Pokemon is inside the Dusk Ball, and why is the Dusk Ball unopenable? Let's tackle the second question first, since it's the quickest and easiest to answer. Simply put, this is, at its core, just a normal Dusk Ball, right? Like, regardless of what value it might have for Uruto, it doesn't change the fact that this is just a standard, run-of-the-mill Dusk Ball that you can buy at your local Pokemart. Therefore, I don't see it being sealed shut by some sort of mythical force like Rayquaza's ancient Pokeball, which was of course a truly special Pokeball. So my guess is that the Dusk Ball cannot be opened because it has some sort of defect, or the Pokemon within it refuses to come out. The former seems less likely because if that was the case, then why hasn't Uruto taken it to someone who can fix it? Someone who knows a lot about Pokeballs, like say Karna, who appeared only 6 episodes ago. So I think the latter is the most likely possibility, especially since there is precedent for it, like Iris's Dragonite for example. This means that this Pokemon and Uruto do not get along currently. Something happened that strained their relationship, leaving Uruto distraught and the Pokemon refusing to leave its Pokeball and thus refusing to help Uruto, battle alongside him, interact with him, etc. Meaning that Uruto will have to earn its trust again and mend their bond, which will be a key part of his character development and his path towards being stronger. Now, when he said in episode 96 that there is someone he needs to get the approval of, is it possible that he was referring to the Pokemon in the Dusk Ball? Perhaps, especially since again, during that conversation, he was grasping the Dusk Ball tightly. So this could very well be the case, though this would go against my theory that this someone is a woman who treated him badly or unfairly, which is why he has an aversion to women. I still believe in this theory as well, so both are possible. Now, as for the identity of the Pokemon in the Dusk Ball, well, with over 1,000 Pokemon, it's basically impossible to say for sure, though we can narrow it down significantly in several ways. First, like I said earlier, Dusk Ball suit Dark-type Pokemon perfectly. There's a reason why both Marnie and Pierce, who are Dark-type specialists, use Dusk Balls. So the Pokemon in the Dusk Ball could be a Dark-type, which would overlap with Sableye, yes, but like I said in my previous preview discussion, this isn't really a deal breaker, and indeed, it wasn't for Dot. And who knows, maybe Uruto has a preference for one type, like say Misty, something we haven't seen in this series outside of gym leaders and the Elite Four. If the unknown Pokemon is indeed a Dark type, then we can narrow down the list of candidates from a whopping over 1,000 Pokemon to a still significant but far more reasonable 82. 68 if we exclude legendary, mythical, and the paradox Pokemon and Ultra Beasts. Yeah, it remains almost impossible to make an accurate prediction. The second way we can narrow it down is by taking a look at Pokemon that are related to the night or to caves, which are the two scenarios where Dusk Balls have a boosted catch rate. So Pokemon that evolve or can only be found at night, and the Pokemon that can be found mostly or exclusively in caves. While I don't have an exact number for this, it's certainly a lot less than 82, right? Though still too much to allow for accurate guessing. However, what if we combine both parameters? There are several dark types that evolve during the night, like Sneasel, Alolan Rattata, Galarian Linoone, and Eevee, who is a normal type but evolves into Umbreon, a dark type at night. There are also several dark types that appear mostly or exclusively in caves, like Sableye, which Uruto already has of course, and most interestingly, Deino. The third way we can narrow it down is Mega Evolution. Given that this is the Mega Voltage arc, Uruto met Roy in Kalos as they trained with Mega Evolution, Uruto Mega evolved the Sableye in their debut episode, and he has a Keystone. I definitely think that there is a huge possibility that the Pokemon in the Dusk Ball is one capable of Mega evolving. This narrows the list of candidates down to just 47, and if we look at just dark types that can Mega evolve, we can cut that number down to just 5. 4 if we exclude Sableye, and 3 if we exclude Sharpedo since Ludlow has one. This leaves us with just Houndoom, Tyranitar, and Absol. And you can throw Gyarados in there since its Mega Evolution is a Dark type. I could see any of these 4 being the one. Mega Evolved Dark types are perfect for Uruto and his Dusk Ball. Now, remember how I said Deinos is interesting? Well, that's because not only is it a dark type that appears mostly or exclusively in caves, but its final form, Hydreigon, is a Pokemon I could definitely see getting a Mega Evolution in Legends CA, seeing as Dragonite got one, which leaves Hydreigon as the oldest pseudo-legendary, the only one from the first 5 generations, that cannot Mega Evolve. Given the temper Hydreigon is normally associated with, it's also a Pokemon that I could definitely see being difficult to control and to earn the trust of. Speaking of Legends CA, with it launching later this year, it's very possible that the anime will want to spotlight Mega Evolution even further, which adds credence to the fact that the Pokemon within the Dusk Ball is one that can Mega Evolve. Also, according to leaks, more dark types like Greninja, Malamar, and Scrafty could get Mega Evolution in Legends CA. One of them could also be in the Dusk Ball, allowing them to showcase new Mega Evolutions in a big way. Now, like I said earlier, I did exclude legendary and mythical Pokemon and Ultra Beasts for obvious reasons, even though the ancient Pokeball I compared the Dusk Ball to had a legendary Pokemon in it. Surely Uruto doesn't have a legendary, right? Why would he want Rayquaza so badly if he did? I excluded Paradox Pokemon too because while they might not be on the same level as those other categories of Pokemon, they are almost just as rare. So what Pokemon is in the Dusk Ball? Well, again, impossible to say for certain, but after narrowing it down and comparing all the options, I would say Hydreigon, especially if it gets a Mega Evolution, Tyranitar, Houndoom, Absol, or Gyarados. These 5 are all powerful, mighty, fierce, intimidating, and aggressive. Perfect to play the role of an unruly Pokemon that refuses to listen to their trainer. And they are all either dark types or can become one. And can Mega Evolve or could get the ability to do so in Legend CA. Tyranitar deserves special attention because its Mega Evolution was the one showcased at the end of episode 105, just before the preview for episode 106. This could be a deliberate tease. Obstagoon, who evolves from Linoone at night and is also a dark type and potential troublemaker in terms of demeanor, is another good candidate. Now, beyond the mystery of the Dusk Ball, this episode will also feature a boy and his Grafaiai, who will both interact with Uruto and Sableye. I don't know to what effect, other than just random fun. Like, Grafaiai is even seen making a painting of Sableye, which is hilarious in the preview. But who knows, they could also help Uruto resolve the issue with the Dusk Ball. Finally, and more interestingly, the 2 grunts from episodes 99 and 100 will reappear in this episode, and they will battle Uruto, this time with 2 Darmanitan, one of each form, instead of their Tauros. Uruto seems to be alone, so it will be a 2 versus 1 battle, which makes me think that perhaps the Pokemon in the Dusk Ball will make an appearance in order to help Uruto. If it doesn't, then Grafaiai and its trainer will help Uruto, or he and Sableye, who will Mega Evolve, will just have to overcome the overwhelming odds through sheer strength and determination. Liko and the others could also help, but judging by the preview, it seems that they will play a minor role in this episode. So yeah, by all accounts, it seems that this episode will be nothing special, unless the mystery of the Dusk Ball is as compelling as it seems to be. If we learn more about it, enough to be interesting, and especially if the Pokemon inside appears, then this episode will be something special. If we learn next to nothing and the Pokemon remains unknown, then this episode might be lackluster. In any case, I'm very interested to see just what will be revealed. Of course, we won't know for sure what will happen until the episode airs on August 15. As always, I will review it after it airs, so please look forward to that. Also, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Is there a Pokemon in the Dusk Ball? And who do you think it is? If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, feel free to click the links on screen. And if you'd like to support the channel and help me keep making content like this, you can find all the ways to do so in the description and in the pinned comment. Whether it's through a small donation or just watching and sharing, every bit of support means the world to me. Thank you so very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.